In the world of espionage, few names echo as loudly as the one we're about to explore. Aldrich Ames, a man who betrayed his country for money, a man who operated in the shadows, and one of the most notorious spies in American history. Today, we're diving deep into the life of Aldrich Ames and the scandal that shook the CIA to its core. For over a decade, Ames was one of the highest-ranking officers in the CIA. A trusted member of the agency's Soviet division, he held access to some of America's most sensitive secrets. But beneath the surface of this trusted agent was something far darker. Aldrich Hazen Ames was born in 1941 in River Falls, Wisconsin. Raised in a family with a history of government work, Ames had the perfect background to rise through the ranks of the CIA. But as we'll soon learn, his career would take a shocking turn. Ames joined the CIA in 1962, working in various roles before being assigned to the Soviet division in the early 1980s. Here, Ames had access to top-secret intelligence about Soviet spies, American operations, and covert activities. He was in a prime position to understand the most sensitive operations of the Cold War. The Cold War was a period of intense espionage. The CIA was constantly trying to gather intelligence on the Soviet Union, and Ames was right in the middle of it. But as the stakes grew higher, so did the temptations, and Ames would make a decision that would change everything. In the mid-1980s, Ames began a double life. Desperate for money, Ames turned to the Soviet Union, offering to sell highly classified information. In exchange, he received hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, along with expensive gifts and a lavish lifestyle. Over the next few years, Ames would betray dozens of CIA assets working in the Soviet Union, leading to their arrest, imprisonment, and execution. His actions resulted in the deaths of at least 10 agents, and many more would be compromised. But it wasn't until 1994 that his treachery was uncovered. The CIA had been investigating a series of devastating intelligence leaks for years, but it wasn't until a routine investigation into Ames's financial situation that they began to suspect something was terribly wrong. Agents discovered that Ames had been living well beyond his means, spending lavishly on cars, homes, and vacations. The pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. In February 1994, Aldrich Ames was arrested and charged with espionage. The evidence was overwhelming. He had betrayed his country for money and caused unimaginable damage to American intelligence operations. In 1994, Ames stood trial for his actions. The government accused him of treason, and the case was one of the most high-profile espionage trials in history. On April 28, 1994, Ames pleaded guilty to espionage and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Ames was sent to the United States Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana, where he remains to this day. His betrayal not only damaged American intelligence efforts, but also severely impacted the CIA's ability to operate in the Soviet Union for years to come. The consequences of Ames's actions were devastating. The CIA's intelligence-gathering operations were compromised. Many of his betrayed assets were killed, and the trust that had taken years to build between the U.S. and its allies was shattered.